want to get into the vein of this, right? So I watched Adrian Broner versus Blair the Flair Cobbs. The result was the result. We saw that, but then it kind of made me think of watching Deontay Wilder's last fight versus Big Bang Zhang, right? And then I'm thinking of like Broner, a guy known for actually having a pretty good chin, right? We seen him go down, and we just kind of seen how he looked, except kind of started picking up towards the end of the fight. We seen, but ultimately, same thing we've been saying for years about Broner: let your hands go, let your hands go, let your hands go. I feel like since those Fury fights, Deontay Wilder not really letting his hands go, right? You kind of see that right hand is kind of cocked, right? But he's not really letting it go in the same vein that he used to. This guy was kind of trying to let his hands go in his last fight. I'm not going to put him in the same vein as these other guys because these guys were like world champions for decent tenure, right? But even Rolly Romero, right, looking a little more gun shy these days. So I say this to say, with Errol Spence Fundora coming up, possibly October, November, and the beating that Errol Spence just took, and what we see happen to some of these guys when they get a beating or get stopped, do we think Errol Spence may be gun shy, knowing that this is a guy known for fighting off of high volume? And if you do think he will be gun shy or not, can you tell me why do you think guys get gun shy? Do you think it's a physical aspect or do you think it's a mental aspect?
I think it's more physical than mental. Not saying mental doesn't play a role, but I think it's more physical than mental. I think in Adrian Broner's case, it's tough too because come to find out, he actually fractured his elbow and torn a ligament in his right hand, and then in the corner too during the fight, which I kind of like I didn't know. He was like, he can't throw his right. I didn't know what, for whatever reason. I was like, maybe just not tired. I don't know. But come to find out, he literally couldn't throw his right hand. And when you go watch AB in this fight against Hutchinson, he was letting his hands go. I just think sometimes when people look at certain fighters, like when he lost to Maidana, for instance, right? And he fought an aggressive fighter. When he fought Sean Porter, he fought an aggressive fighter. There's just some styles that counter punches like AB just can't beat. You know what I mean? And when he fought Paulie Malignaggi, he fought kind of the same way he fought Maidana. It's just he just won. He won a close fight, and he moved up 2 weight classes as well, right? So when you were moving up that many weight classes, your output may not necessarily be the same as a counter puncher. So I think as the years progress with AB, I think it's just more so, he's getting a lot of ring rust. He's just getting old in age, so his activity. So I think it's more because I think he's game. Like he was walking down Blair Cobbs. It wasn't a mental thing for him. He was still trying to throw. He just couldn't really throw his right hand, but more so he's getting older, right? He fell on his arm and fractured his elbow. You can tell that's age. You know what I mean? Deontay Wilder, for instance, right? He loses to Tyson Fury twice. He gets TKO'd and then he gets KO'd. And then he goes on to fight Helenius, right? And then he fights Joseph Parker. But like you can tell, even in his first official loss to Tyson Fury, you can tell he just wasn't moving the same. Like I told you years ago, like, yo, he doesn't move the same. Like he's not as light on his feet. You know what I mean? I don't know if it was stylistically or maybe it's age where he's just not, he don't have the cat-like reflexes with his punching power that allows him to be as orthodox and be able to move. And with Zhang, you can tell his movement was terrible. With Joseph Parker, his movement was terrible. Maybe he don't have the legs anymore for the fight. I think, and then also people get chinny. Like I mentioned to you, Deontay Wilder's starting to get a bit chinny compared to before. We've seen him take big shots against Luis Ortiz, King Kong, and he ate punches, big punches. But with Zhang, maybe Zhang is just the biggest punch he's faced, but I don't know. I think he's become a bit chinny. Like Rolly Romero, for instance, right? Like I think Rolly fought Tank. And yes, it might be a little bit mental, but I think did he fight the Barrios guy, the old guy afterwards, after he fought Tank?
Ismael, yeah.
Yeah, Ismael. And that was a good fight. Like, you know what I mean? He said that was the biggest punch he's fought, but before it was a bad stoppage, but it was not like Rolly was going to lose the fight in the sense of he was losing at that point in time. He potentially could have stopped Ismael, but the ref intervened just way too early. You know what I mean? It's just that when he went ahead and fought Pitbull Cruz, the game plan might have been bad, and I don't know why he was just fighting on the back foot, right? But he just couldn't take the punches.
Pitbull makes you fight on the back foot, though, bro.
You know what I mean? But that's also not. That's what I'm saying too. You got to look at who they're fighting, right? Because when they're fighting big punchers, of course, someone's gonna get KO'd. It's not like he's going in there fighting a person that's throws pillow punches. I think that's the difference too, as well. Is the type of fighters these fighters are fighting, right? And the circumstances that plays a role, as opposed to kind of just, you know, chalking it up to maybe it's just mental and they're no longer the same. Because I think as you get older, you know, I think Rolly's probably the exception compared to Deontay and AB. I think AB is more so age. And you can see AB's body shape. He can't move the same. He doesn't have the head movement like he used to have. You know what I mean? That's how he got caught slipping with the overhand left with Blair Cobb. You know what I mean? So in those cases, it's more physical than it is mental, because the physical also affects the mental to some degree. You know what I mean? So I think with Spence's case, I think Spence is going to come to fight. I think mentally he's going to come and push forward, but it's ultimately whether or not his body can withstand it, just like the Terrence Crawford fight. There's no way you can tell me mentally Errol Spence was not game. He was game mentally. His body just couldn't withstand the punches, and he was falling all over his feet, you know? So hopefully that's not the same with Fundora, but then again, I don't know.
But you think you think ultimately he'll let his hands go. You don't think he'll be, you don't think he's going to take a punch and be like, oh, whoa, flashbacks, and be scared to throw.
No, I think he's going to throw. I think he's going to throw. I think he's going to ultimately throw unless he gets hurt. Now, if you get hurt, then that's a different case, right? But he's going to throw. It's just whether or not he's going to get hurt with those punches, and he's ultimately going to, you know, be susceptible to punches, because that's also what stops you too. When you get hurt, it's hard for you to come back. Like AB, when he got dropped, he was coming back. He was on the front foot. That told me it wasn't mental, because he came forward and he was pressing Blair Cobbs. You know what I mean? If it was mental, he'd have probably been more so. Like the Rolly might have been more mental, because Rolly started going to back foot. He was a bit tentative, but you know, sometimes you could just tell. But I don't think he's going to like back up and run. I don't think Spence doing it.
That's a good case. You may have swayed me, because I've kind of been in belief that it's mental, you know, and you know, particularly with Deontay Wilder, just because I'm saying, even when I'm watching him, you know, it looks like he's scared to throw the hand, and I feel like it's almost in fear of what's coming back, because now, like you said, he's kind of become chinny, and I feel like it's almost like he doesn't want to get hit back anymore. So I was kind of under the impression that it's mental. I think you made a pretty good case there. Like AB, like even when AB's fought, even I'm not gonna say lesser competition than Blair Cobb, but it was a couple years ago, and I forgot the guy's name, and I think AB was given a gift, and it's just like, bro, like even when he Santiago, even when he knew that he was down on the cards, you have to kind of, like, he just couldn't do it. You know, it's like something about him couldn't do it. And I'm just like, yo, like with the Rolly situation, even though Rolly is difficult, because I thought Rolly was kind of throwing some different combination against Pitbull than I normally see him throw, you know, but just to see the way he was going down. But like, is it a bit mental? Is it just like, yo, you kind of have those flashbacks as soon as you get touched, you're just ready to concede, and just mentally you know what I'm saying? But I think it could be physical. I think you made a good point there. So I'm actually, you know, concede my mental point and actually say, you know, it could be just physically being broken down, because I mean, hard hits hurt, man, and they have effects. First, in Spence's case, I'm gonna say I do think he's gonna let his hands go. I think just based on what he's already been through, I think in his mind, this can't really hurt him, right? You know, flying through the car the way he was, hitting the pavement. I don't think he thinks punches can really, I mean, obviously stop him in terms of losing the fight. I just don't think that fearfulness is there mentally. But I think we're going to get a lot of questions answered, because he's going to get touched. If you fight Fundora, you're going to get touched. It's just too hard to get in and fight a style that Spence fights and get out without being touched. So you're going to be touched. You know what I'm saying? So I think we're going to get a lot of questions answered there. The main question that I want answered right now is who's going to be his trainer. Before we close out the video, I would like
with the trainer, you just brought up a good point. I just want to insert that. I just want to ask you this as well, because this is something that goes beyond kind of the mind and the body, and you bring it up. Trainer, right? Does the trainer play a role in this? Because think about it. Rolly switched trainers from Pitbull. Deontay Wilder switched trainers when he started losing. The trainers play a role in this, in the losses, and the trainers trying to switch up their styles. Right? Is that a component outside of the body and mind?
I think it can be, because in Deontay's case, Deontay looks very uncomfortable out there, just very uncomfortable. I think Malik Scott's almost trying to make Deontay fight Malik's style, right? And then, you know, spoiler alert, I was going to ask what trainer I think Errol Spence should go to, and I was going to say Bozy Ennis. But what I like that Bozy said is like at this point, like I can't change your style. I'm not going to try to change your style. I'm just going to try to build on top of it. And I think that's an error that trainers make. Instead of building on top of the style that already exists, I think they try to completely change the style. And then like some cases, like Deontay's case, I think Deontay's uncomfortable out there, overthinking. Rolly could be overthinking as well. And then, you know, they're just fighting. They're fighting their opponent, but then they're fighting themselves as well to try to keep up with this new style and not conform to do what they just naturally their body wants them to naturally do. So, good point. Yeah, I think that could happen. The trainers could play a big role as well. Like I said, you know, Spence doesn't have a trainer yet. I was gonna say the reason I like Bozy for him is just going to Philly, being in a new environment, and I think kind of being in a gym where there are a lot of eyes, right? I think sometimes when you get to certain levels, you need a team, right? And I'm not putting any blame on Derrick James for that last loss, but Derrick James working by himself with his time is split. I remember he vividly said, I'm giving 2 hours to all these guys, 2 hours, 2 hours. But what if you need more than 2 hours, right? And it's hard because, okay, now I got to go train Ryan. I got to go train AJ. I got to go train Jermell. So what I like about Bozy's situation, he has a few fighters over. How many times do you see Jerron hitting mitts with somebody else, doing stuff with other people? Maybe you need a team and different eyes and saying, yo, look at this, dude. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of why I say put yourself in a different environment, get comfortable being uncomfortable is why I thought maybe Bozy would be a good route to go. If you have a quick who do you think he should go with before we, you know, turn it over to our supporters and see what they think?
I think Bozy definitely is a great choice. You know, I'll probably go with I'll go with Breadman. I think Breadman is definitely, you know, his fight is just kind of low key. I think Spence is who he is, personality and his style kind of could fit well into that. Of course, Breadman fights, you know, slick fighters, but Breadman's is really adaptable, and I think he'll allow Spence to kind of add on to certain skill sets without fully changing it. But yeah, that's my choice.
Love what he's done for Caleb Plant. Okay, in the comment section, tell us what trainer do you have in mind for Errol Spence? If obviously he's not with DJ anymore, he made it known he's looking for a new home. So let us know what trainer you like. And when you see some of these guys becoming chinny and being gun shy, do you think it's mental? Do you think it's physical? We'd love to hear in the comment section. Make sure you like and subscribe. 2 cents short of $1. We out.